Hello students, welcome to the class. Today we will discussing about the polysaccharide. Polysaccharides. Yesterday we completed oligosaccharides, that is sucrose, maltose, and lactose. Today we are looking at polysaccharides. In these polysaccharides, we have two components. We have two compounds here in our syllabus. One is starch, another one is cellulose. These two are the main things. First one is starch, also known as amyla. This starch is also known as amyla. Its formula is C6H11O5 N times. C6H10O5 N times. This is the formula of the starch. Starch is the polymer of alpha D glucose. This starch contains mainly two parts. First, we will look at the dissociation of this starch. Then afterwards, we will go through the other properties. Starch on hydrolysis. Starch on hydrolysis. Further, you can take N/2H2O. Starch on hydrolysis, we get the maltose. This maltose on further hydrolysis, acid hydrolysis, it yields glucose. So starch on hydrolysis, we will get the glucose units. This starch contains two parts. First one is amylose. Second one is amylopectin. Starch contains two parts. One is amylose, second one is amylopectin. This amylose is water soluble. Nearly 15 to 20% of starch is present in the form of amylose. Nearly 15 to 20% of starch is present in the form of amylose. This amylose will give you blue color with iodine solution. Produce blue color with iodine solution. So amylose is water soluble. It produces blue color with iodine solution. Amylose is 15 to 20%. 15 to 20% of 15 to 20% is present in the form of amylose in starch. The remaining is amylopectin. How many units are present? Nearly 200 to 1000 alpha D glucose are present in amylose. If you take one amylose polymer, it contains nearly 200 to 1000 alpha D glucose units. So amylose contains which units? Alpha D glucose units. All these alpha D glucose units are connected by bonded by 1,4 glycosidic bonding. So I am drawing the alpha D glucose units. So this is first carbon, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon, fifth carbon, and here the sixth carbon is present. This is first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth carbon is present. The first carbon of one of the glucose unit, alpha D glucose unit, going to bonded with the fourth carbon of another alpha D glucose unit. So this is alpha D glucose, and this one also alpha D glucose. This one also alpha D glucose units. So all these are the alpha D glucose units. In amylose, alpha D glucose units are connected with 1,4 glycosidic bonding. 1,4 glycosidic bonding. This is glycosidic bonding. This is 1,4 glycosidic bonding. Amylose is a straight chain polymer, does not have any kind of branches. Now look at the amylopectin. This amylopectin is water insoluble. Again another point is this is digestible, this is non-digestible. Nearly 75 to 80% of starch contains in this form, amylopectin. So 75 to 80% of starch is present in the form of amylopectin. This one does not produces blue color with iodine. Does not produce blue color with iodine. Amylopectin contains branched chains. Have branches. These amylopectin contains a straight chains which are branched. It contains a straight chains which have the branches with 1,6 linkage. I will show you how this 1,6 linkage is present. So in amylopectin, a straight chain is present. I am not drawing complete glucose structure, just I am showing the pyramidal ring structure of glucose. This is pyramidal ring. This is the first carbon, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth carbon. This first carbon is going to bonded with the fourth carbon of another glucose unit, like this. space. So simply I am drawing this one like this. You have to imagine it is in spine. Okay, I will draw. This is first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth carbon. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sixth carbon. Like that, we have a straight chain. We have the straight chain. These straight chains are one branched by another glucose units at the sixth carbon. At the sixth carbon. So count this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here, at one place the branch chains are forming. This is the amylopectin contains two parts. One is straight chain like amylose. Amylopectin also contains some branch chains, like this branch chains are present. Here also one branch chain is present like this. Look at where these branch chains are forming. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th carbon. 6th carbon is bonded to, sorry, not to 6th carbon. First carbon is bonded to 4th carbon. 1, 4th linkage already shown. Yes, 1, 6. Yeah. This is 6th carbon. This 6th carbon is bonded to first carbon. Like this. Here also we made a small mistake here. How to put the oxygen here. So this is first, second, third, fourth. This is 5, this is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So branch chains are present at what places? 6 and 1. So 6th carbon is bonded with first carbon. 6 C6 C1 branch chains are present, branch linkages are present. 1, 4 glycosidic bondings are present in case of amylopectin. So in case of amylopectin, 1 comma 4 glycosidic bondings are present, and 1 comma 6 branch chains are present. So look at once again this starch. Starch, also known as amylum, it contains two parts. One is amylose, another one is amylopectin. Amylose is water soluble, digestible, 15 to 20% are present. This amylose will produce blue color with iodine solution. This amylose forms a stride chain. This stride chain contains 200 units to 1000 units of alpha D glucose units. Stride chain contains 200 units to 1000 units of alpha D glucose units. The molecular weight is nearly 20,000 to 10,000. Come to the amylopectin. It is water insoluble, non-digestible. Starch contains nearly 75 to 80% of amylopectin. It does not produce blue color with iodine. It contains the branches at 1 comma 6 carbon. It forms branches with at 1 comma 6 carbons. Amylopectin contains two parts. One is stride chain part. Another one is its branch chains. Stride chain is formed by 1 comma 4 linkage. Branches are formed, somewhere branches are formed with 1 comma 6 carbons, with 1 comma 6 linkages. This is amylopectin. This is about the starch. And the next one is cellulose. Cellulose formula is C6H10O5 anions. This cellulose on hydrolysis will yield the glucose units. Cellulose on hydrolysis will yield the glucose units. This cellulose also contains glycosidic bondings. Cellulose also contains the glycosidic bonding. But this cellulose forms beta glycosidic bonding with 1 comma 4 linkage. Cellulose also forms the glycosidic bondings, but beta glycosidic bondings. It also forms by alpha D glucose units. This is alpha D glucose units. These are the alpha D glucose units. Just I am drawing the outer skeleton arrangement. This is first carbon, this one is the fourth carbon. These first carbon and fourth carbons are connected by beta glycosidic bonding. First carbon and fourth carbons are connected by beta glycosidic bonding. This is beta glycosidic bond. This is beta glycosidic bond. Okay, this is about cellulose. Cellulose is not digestible. Outer layer of cells is made with cellulose. It is somewhat hard material when compared with starch. Next, another polysaccharide is glycogen. Another polysaccharide is glycogen. Its formula also C6H10O5 n times. Glycogen formula also C6H10O5 n times. Glycogen is also known as animal starch. Glycogen also known as animal starch. The structure of glycogen is similar to the structure of glucose. Sorry, the structure of glycogen is similar to the structure of starch, but this glycogen contains large number of branches. But glucose contains, sorry, not glucose, starch contains branch units and unbranched units. Branch units are very less. Amylopectin units only contains the branches, and those branches are also very small number of branches are present in amylopectin. That is in the case of starch, but in glycogen, these straight chains of glucose units, alpha D glucose units, are heavily branched. During the need of energy, enzymes will break down this glycogen and releases glucose molecules. When we sit ideally, when we are not using that much of energy, then what this our body will do? Our body convert the glucose in the form of glycogen and stored in adipose tissues. So glycogen also is a source of energy. Okay. When we require the energy, if some fever something happens, then what our body will do? It releases some enzymes which dissociate the glycogen and releases glucose units. These glucose units will give us the energy. So this is about glycogen and carbohydrates. Next one is uses of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the main sources of energy for living organisms. Glucose is a carbohydrate. Carbohydrates are the main energy sources. Next, one of the carbohydrate, this cellulose, is the main component in the cell wall. Main component in the cell wall is cellulose. And again, this energy, these materials are stored in the form of glycogen in our body. And another use of these carbohydrates are some of the antibiotics also contains carbohydrate moieties. Next, nucleic acids, DNA, RNA also contains the carbohydrate moieties. So all these are the uses of carbohydrates. Next, our next topic is amino acids. Our next topic is amino acids. Wait. So what is this amino acids? Amino acids. What are amino acids? Molecules which contains both amine group and carboxylic acid groups are known as amino acids. Molecules which contains both amine group and carboxylic acid groups are known as amino acids. So look at this molecule. This molecule contains amine group and carboxylic acid. So this is an amino acid. We have large number of amino acids. We have nearly 700 amino acids are known. In those amino acids, 20 amino acids are very important. 20 amino acids are very important. First we will look at the classification of these amino acids. Classification. There are different types of classifications are there for these amino acids. One of the classification is basing on the position of this amine group. These amino acids are of different types: alpha amino acids, beta amino acids, gamma amino acids. One of the classification is basing on the position of amine group on the hydrocarbon chain. So look at here. This is the functional group. The next carbon to this functional group is alpha carbon. Next carbon to the functional group is alpha carbon. This is the functional group. The next carbon to this functional group is alpha, and the next carbon is beta carbon. Here also the same thing. This is alpha carbon. This is beta carbon. This is gamma. Okay. Look at here. Here the amine group is attached to alpha carbon. Amine group is attached to alpha carbon. So this is alpha amino acid. Here the amine group is attached to beta carbon. So this is beta amino acid. Here the amino group is attached to gamma carbon. So this one is gamma amino acid. So this is alpha amino acid, this is beta amino acid, and that one is gamma amino acid. This is one kind of classification. Basing on the attachment of amine group, these amino acids are classified into different types: alpha, beta, gamma, delta amino acids. So if amine group is bonded to alpha carbon, then it is alpha amino acid. If amine group is bonded to beta carbon, then it is beta amino acid. If amine group is bonded to gamma carbon, then it is gamma amino acid. R group will change. Instead of R, if different groups are substituted, we will get different kinds of amino acids. Instead of R, here I am writing H. In H2 group, COH remains the same. Instead of R, different other groups are substituted. Instead of R, if H is present, then that amino acid is known as glycine. That amino acid is known as the glycine. Instead of R, if CH3 is present, this one is known as alanine. Glycine, alanine. We have nearly 700 amino acids are there. In those amino acids, 20 amino acids plays a crucial role in the building of life organisms. All these 20 amino acids are alpha amino acids. All these 20 amino acids are alpha amino acids. Look at to which carbon here the amine group is attached? Alpha carbon. This is alpha carbon. Okay. So this is also alpha carbon. This is one kind of classification. Most of the amino acids are alpha amino acids. Most of the amino acids are alpha amino acids except proline. Except proline. Proline is a secondary amine. Proline is secondary amino acid. Secondary amine. This is proline. This is proline. Look at here proline. This amine group bonded with how many carbon? This is one carbon. This is another carbon. So this is secondary amine. Most of the amino acids are primary amines. Look at this amine group. To how many carbons this amine group is bonded? To only one carbon. So this is primary amine. This is primary amine. To how many carbons this amine group is bonded? To only one carbon. So this is the primary amine. So most of the amino acids are alpha amino acids. These these alpha amino acids are contains primary amines, but only one alpha amino acid contains the secondary amine. This is alpha carbon. So to this amine group is attached, but this amine is secondary amine. Okay. So this is about amino. We have to go long way through these amino acids. We will discuss about this thing in the next class. For this class it is enough. We will meet on next day. Thank you.